बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप लोग?
वालेकुम सलाम सर, अल्लाह का शुक्र।
Okay, so last class we started discussing boost converter. So basically boost converter and buck converter, they have just few changes in the component location. So inductor, which is third component in buck converter, comes out to be first in boost converter, then switch is replaced by diode, and then diode is replaced by inductor. So in boost converter we have sorry.
Let's share the video.
Sorry. चलो, अभी visible है?
Yes.
Yeah. So in boost converter we have no supply voltage, then inductor, switch, diode, and capacitor as always is in parallel with the load. So in this we have discussed that we cannot make the switch close all the time. That is, the duty cycle cannot be approaching 1, because that would result in very large spike in current and MOSFET can be damaged. So therefore the duty cycle should be limited when we operate and work with boost converter. Secondly, there should not be R infinity, that is, load is disconnected. If that is happening, then the capacitor is going to get very high voltage, and therefore that could result also in damaging the semiconductor switches. So therefore when we work with boost converter, we make sure there is a limit and we start from a minimum value, then we can gradually go high. And secondly, the load should be connected very solidly. So boost converter firing circuit we have to modify as compared to buck converter, because buck converter's gate drive circuit was working as high side. Now low side gates drive circuit also applicable. And secondly, we cannot get a very high voltage gain or boost gain using boost converter. Therefore we have to limit the output voltage, and for a maximum limit for a buck boost converter is 5, that we can multiply this 5 with the input voltage and get the output voltage. Because otherwise if we increase the duty cycle, we can get even higher boost factor, but that would result in low efficiency. Then we know the average values when we are operating in steady state. Then average voltage across inductor is 0, and average current across capacitor is also 0. There are obviously two modes of the operation. So first mode, in which we close the switch, therefore T on time is there, and inductor current starts rising with the slope V in by L. And still in this we have to make sure that switch is not closed for duty cycle approaching 1, because otherwise supply voltage is going to get short circuit. And this is the equivalent circuit, what is happening when the switch is closed. So supply voltage is getting shorted by inductor and the switch, and therefore whatever current, whatever is the resistance of inductor, parasitic resistance, that is going to limit the current or the duty cycle, because duty cycle will define how much time, for how much time we are going to charge the inductor. So on the other side, diode becomes reverse bias, and therefore capacitor is the only source available that can supply power to the load. So current is supplied by the capacitor, therefore capacitor current is negative when it is equal to the output current. In second mode of operation, we open the switch, and now the duty cycle is 1 minus d into t. So for t of time, the diode becomes forward bias because of the LDI by dt effect of the inductor, because inductor was charged previously and now it needs to dissipate its charge, so therefore it would generate such high voltage that diode is going to get into conduction mode. And now the input current, which is equal to inductor current, is going to be the diode current, and that diode current is going to dump the energy into the capacitor. So according to the steady state, average voltage across the inductor is 0. So we take the rising voltage and we take the charging and discharging currents, gives us the charging and discharging voltages, positive and negative voltages across inductor. Simplifying that equation, and we get the output input relationship, and the gain is 1 over 1 minus d. So the boost factor is 1 over 1 minus d, and if we keep the duty cycle 80%, then we get the boost factor around 5 times of the input voltage. Because as I said earlier, we can go for high duty cycle, but due to the parasitic resistances, the loss is going to get higher and higher with respect to the duty cycle, and therefore the efficiency, which is essential for us, is going to get down to a very low value. So therefore, if we want to get a higher boost factor, we can use multiple boost factors in series and get the desired voltage gain of overall system. Then we looked into the waveform of the inductor current. So when switch is closed, inductor gets charged, and when switch is open, inductor is getting discharged. So these are two modes of operation. So inductor is all the time connected with the input voltage, but in mode 1 it is disconnected with the output voltage. So therefore inductor current is going to be continuous in both scenario. There are other factors also involved with the continuous conduction of inductor current, such as the load, frequency, and inductance value. And therefore we can get the ripple delta IL, which is V in over L into dt, or using the discharging current slope, V in minus V out divided by L into 1 minus D into T. So we can take the T down and it would become efficiency. So what important in the boost inductor current is that the average current is now input current, whereas in buck converter the average of the inductor current was output current, whereas in boost it's the input current. that we have to keep in mind. From inductor current, as we did in buck converter, we can take the waveforms of all the components like the switch current, diode current, capacitor current, and the load current. Then to find out the current ratings of inductor, we are going to do the same calculation just like we did in buck converter. So only the difference would be that the average current in buck was output current, whereas in case of boost converter, the average current is input current. And then we have peak to peak current ripple, delta I. So delta I in this case, in case of worst case scenario, we are taking as twice of the input current. So therefore, this is going to be the RMS current of inductor, 2 times input current divided by under root 3. Similarly, for capacitor current, we are just taking the input current as the RMS value of the capacitor current. And then taking the current ratings for the MOSFET and diode. So therefore, we keep in mind that if switch is closed for a longer time, duty cycle approaches unity, then the peak is going to be very high. So therefore, the RMS value we can take the same as of inductor current, but obviously we have to take the precautions for worst case scenario of the duty cycle. For diode, for switches, duty cycle approaching 1, and for diode, the duty cycle approaching 0. So, and then obviously we have to keep in mind about the safe operating area of the semiconductor devices. So therefore, we have to keep margin from the RMS value. Then voltage rating, we have seen diode would see output voltage, MOSFET also sees output voltage. So therefore, output voltage, which is the high voltage, is going to be the deciding parameter for selection of diode, MOSFET, and capacitor according to the voltage. Then if we work on the boundary of continuous and discontinuous conduction mode for inductor, when it's just touch the zero for a very short instant, or even for 1 instant, and then becomes non-zero again. That is the boundary condition, and the ripple is going to be V in by L into dt, or we can write it down as V in D by LF. Keeping the worst case scenario, we can find out the critical value of the inductor, and in that even worst case going to be the duty cycle approaching unity. So now this critical inductance is for obviously the ripple factor equal to 200% or 2 times of the DC value of the input DC value. But in practice, we are going to get the ripple factor less than, let's say, 10%. And for this, actual inductance is going to be very large as compared to the critical one. Okay, so therefore we can take it as around 100 times, or maybe more or less than that if if critical inductance approaches into millihenries. then we cannot take too much difference. But in case if L critical is in equal to some microhenries, then we can easily take as 100 microhenry for the actual inductance, which is obviously very large compared to 1 microhenry. Similarly, for the capacitance, we can find out the critical capacitance value because the voltage ripple because of the capacitor is going to be delta Q by C, whereas the delta Q is the charge stored, which we can find out if the duty cycle approaches 1, then all the time capacitor has to provide the output current. So therefore, I dt is the area under the curve of for this rectangular area, and then we can take that T over in denominator and get the delta V as I out into D divided by CF. And worst case scenario for capacitor is that voltage ripple becomes twice of the DC value, or the ripple factor is 200%. So keeping in mind, we can find out the critical value of capacitance I out over 2 V out into F, and you can find out that duty cycle is kept 1, and that would give us the maximum voltage ripple. But the actual capacitance should be very large so that the ripple factor is less than 5%. So in design of boost converter, we will be doing both. We will find the critical value of capacitance, and then we find the actual value of capacitance, which will give us ripple factor less than 5%. And here I again repeat, when we consider ripple factor as 5%, then this 5% does not mean delta V is 5. Okay? So delta V is basically ripple factor multiplied by the DC value, V out. So if V out is 100, then ripple factor is 5%. The delta V is going to be 5 volts. So again, we can see the impedance matching just like we have done in buck converter. So whatever the load is connected on the output side, we can find the equivalent load that can be connected on the input side of the DC to DC converter, which will give us the input voltage and input current. So let's find out that R equivalent. So R equivalent would be Vn by In. So if we keep the lossless relationship here, then we can write it down like this. So V out multiplied by 1 minus D is the input voltage, and I out divided by 1 minus D is the input current. So therefore we are going to get 1 minus D square V out over I out, and this V out over I out is the R load multiplied by 1 minus D square. So from here we can find out the value of duty cycle for which we have to change the R equivalent to our desired or required value. So this is how we can convert the R load on which is connected on the output side. We can find the equivalent that can be connected on the input side. So now let's assume again the maximum power point tracking of the solar panel. We take the same example that we have maximum power point at 130 watts for voltage 29 volts and 4.5 amperes. So therefore the our load, if we connect the resistance directly to PV panel, we need 6.44 ohms, and this black line is basically the VI curve of 6.44. So this line is basically VI curve of 6.44 ohms resistance. So this is VI curve of 6.44 ohms resistance, whereas this line is the VI curve of PV panel. So we combine these two VI lines to get the intersected point, and that intersected point gives us the value of the power consumed by that load. So now let's assume that we are given a 100 ohm resistance, and that 100 ohm resistance we have to connect to the PV panel, and this 100 ohm resistance must be consuming maximum power point, that is 130 watts. But if we connect directly 100 ohms to the PV panel, and this intersection gives us the power, and only 14 watt is going to be consumed by the 100 ohm resistance if we connect 100 ohm directly to 29 volts DC power source, that is the PV panel. And this 100 ohms is directly connected to the PV panel, and this will not consume 4.5 amperes, rather it would consume around 0.4. Actually almost 0.3 volts, 0.29, so almost 0.3 amperes current is going to consumed by the 100 ohm resistance. So therefore almost 30 multiplied by this 0.3 is going to get around 9 watts, but from PV panel we get the value of sorry. What I forget that when we apply the 100 ohm resistor across the PV panel, the voltage is not going to be 29 anymore, because that is the maximum power point tracking voltage. And the voltage is going to be this much, that is around 39 volts, and current is around 0.4, and that is 39 volts. So therefore the power is going to be around 14 watts. Now what should we do to provide 130 watts to 100 ohm resistance? And for this we have to apply DC to DC converter. So which DC to DC converter we should apply here?
सर बक कन्वर्टर में जिस तरह पिछले में किया था हमने मैच की थी रेजिस्टेंस
So
इसमें कम
what
होगा सर
is the property of buck converter as far as resistance is concerned?
सर आपकी आवाज स्टार्ट हुई थी समझ नहीं आई आप क्या कह रहे
मैं दोबारा रिपीट कर देता हूँ कि जब हमने बक कन्वर्टर के लिए इक्विवेलेंट रेजिस्टेंस फाइंड की थी तो उसने क्या किया था 2 ohms की रेजिस्टेंस को बड़ा कर दिया,
यस सर
ठीक है। तो अगर हम यहाँ पे भी 2 ohm 100 ohm को भी बक कन्वर्टर के साथ लगाएंगे तो वो तो इसको और बड़ा कर देगा,
बूस्ट लगेगा फिर सर
बूस्ट लगाएंगे सो दैट वी हैव अ लेस रेजिस्टेंस, ठीक है। जिस तरह से बक कन्वर्टर ने रेजिस्टेंस को बड़ा कर दिया था, जो बूस्ट कन्वर्टर है ये रेजिस्टेंस को छोटा करेगा, ठीक है। अगर हम यहाँ लास्ट स्लाइड में देखें जो रेजिस्टेंस का हमने ये इम्पिडेंस का फाइंड किया था, सो इफ ड्यूटी साइकिल इज लेस देन 1, ठीक है, तो ओवरऑल दिस गोइंग टू बी दिस इज ड्यूटी साइकिल अगर लेट्स से 0.5 होगा, तो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द ड्यूटी साइकिल जो भी यहाँ पे मल्टीपल आएगा दैट वुड, उसका जो स्क्वायर लेंगे दैट वुड बी लेस देन 1, ठीक है। तो ये जो मल्टीपल है 1 माइनस डी स्क्वायर, दिस इज नॉट गोइंग टू गेट हायर देन 1, इट इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी लेस देन 1, ठीक है। तो जब हम आर लोड को लेस देन 1 नंबर से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो आर इक्विवेलेंट इज गोइंग टू बी smaller than R load, ठीक है। So this is opposite to the buck converter.
सर कोई लिमिटेशन होती है इसकी कि हम किस वोल्टेज किस रेजिस्टेंस तक रेजिस्टेंस इसकी कम कर सकते हैं या जिस तरह बक की हम किस रेजिस्टेंस तक बढ़ा सकते हैं
जी जी देखिए इंक्रीज जैसे डिक्रीज है तो डिक्रीज तो ऑब्वियसली आप कितना कर सकेंगे, द मिनिमम इज 0,
यस सर
ठीक है। तो दैट मीन्स कि आपका जो इनपुट करंट है दैट इज टू लार्ज, सो दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन दी ड्यूटी साइकिल, कि जितना ड्यूटी साइकिल जो है वो आप छोटा करेंगे, और ड्यूटी साइकिल किस ड्यूटी साइकिल के लिए आर इक्विवेलेंट जो है वो 0 के करीब हो जाएगा, दैट इज ड्यूटी साइकिल इक्विवेलेंट टू 1, ठीक है। जब हम बहुत बड़ा ड्यूटी साइकिल रखेंगे तो जो आपका इक्विवेलेंट लोड होगा दैट इज गोइंग टू बी रिजल्टेंट इन 0, वेरी स्मॉल वैल्यू। सो देयरफॉर अगर ड्यूटी साइकिल छोटी होगी तो आर इक्विवेलेंट की वैल्यू जो है वो स्टिल हाई होगी लेकिन लोड रेजिस्टेंस से कम हो, ठीक है। तो बूस्ट कन्वर्टर इज गोइंग टू do the opposite of the buck converter and it is going to reduce the resistance. So therefore when we are going to connect the boost converter and we want that 130 watts is consumed by the load, then we need to modify the duty cycle so that the load resistance, the equivalent load resistance that is seen by the source is equal to 6.44 in this scenario, ठीक है। तो आप जस्ट इमेजिन करें कितना आप इसको रिड्यूस गेन यानी इन्वर्स गेन आप लगा रहे हैं 100 ओम रेजिस्टेंस को, तो ये 6.44 ओम की रेजिस्टेंस जो है वो बन जाए। ठीक है. So what now we are going to do is we are going to connect a boost converter between the load and the PV panel. Okay, so that equivalent resistance on the input side of the boost converter becomes less, smaller resistance 6.44. ठीक है. तो उसके लिए फिर आपको जो फॉर्मूला चाहिए है that is here. So we find out the R equivalent is 1 minus V square into R load. So therefore we find out the duty cycle, and that is going to be 1 minus under root R equivalent divided by R load. ठीक है. So ये ज़हन में आपने रखना है. अगर इस तरह का क्वेश्चन आपके आता है पेपर में, then you are not going to take the same duty cycle formula जो कि बक का था, बूस्ट का उससे डिफरेंट है. ठीक है. तो ये ध्यान में रखना है कि बूस्ट कन्वर्टर के लिए हर चीज़ डिफरेंट है और बक कन्वर्टर के लिए हर चीज़ डिफरेंट है. तो therefore the duty cycle comes out to be 74.6%, which will ensure that maximum power is absorbed by the 100 ohm resistor. ठीक है. So what is going to do the boost converter? What is the task of the boost converter?
The previous plate was because
That is going to reduce the resistance, high load resistance to low resistance on the source side. ठीक है जी. क्वेश्चन है आपका? Okay. So now we find out the duty cycle. Now we can get the voltage and current for the output of boost converter. So 1 minus D is 25%. So therefore 29 divided by 0.254 is going to give us almost 4 times the voltage. 114 volts should be across the load 100 ohm resistor. And because I out is but so I think this should be 116. No. I think this is 114. This is 114. So 114 divided by 100, we get 1.14 amperes current. Okay. So if you multiply 1.14 and 114 volts, we get 130 watts approximately. This is the power consumed by 100 ohm resistor, and still you can see PV panel की जो output है that is giving us 29 volts and 4.5 ampere. ठीक है. Any questions regarding this maximum power point tracking? Okay, so now let's design a boost converter for this maximum power point tracking application, and the input current the inductor current RMS value is 5 amperes, so we keep it as it is. 5 amperes is fair enough. The boost voltage, because output voltage is around 114, so we multiply it by 1.5 times around, and we select 250 volts. ठीक है, because 180 volt का capacitor आपको नहीं मिलेगा, so you are going to get a higher voltage than that. Then we have output current as the capacitor current. Output current is 1.2 ampere, so that is equal to the current rating of the capacitor. Diode and MOSFET, the voltage is 240 volts, so we can go for 250 volts MOSFET and diode. And the current is 5 amperes RMS current, but we are going to take the higher current rating so that we have safe margin. If there are some spikes due to the varying duty cycle, then this diode and MOSFET must handle that. So now we find out the values of critical inductance and capacitance. Our output current is 1.2 amperes. Output voltage is 1.14. It's almost same. Doesn't matter. So frequency we kept 50 kilohertz. So critical capacitance comes out to be 0.2 nanofarad. But we normally take it quite large. So the capacitor value is around 200 microfarad. Similarly, we find out the critical inductance V in over 2 times I in F. The values, where are the values? Okay, where are the values? So input voltage is 114 or 116 volts. The input current is, input side voltage is the PV panel voltage. So input side voltage is 29 divided by 2 into IN, which is 4.5 amperes, multiply by 50 kilohertz. And then we find out the critical value equal to 1 millihenry. So to find out the actual values, we again find out inductor and capacitor with the help of ripple factor. So 5% ripple factor gives us the value of delta V as 5.8 volts. I out is 1.2 amperes and frequency is 50 kilohertz. So we get 5 microfarad. So therefore we keep it as 200. And for inductor, we get the current ripple 10% equal to 0.4 amperes. So 29 divided by 0.4 and 50 kilohertz. So we get inductor around 1.2 millihenry. So we have taken that. So any questions regarding this boost converter design and the maximum power point tracking application? So ध्यान में रखना है आपने कि जब आपको रेजिस्टेंस गिवन होगी तो अकॉर्डिंग टू रेजिस्टेंस यू हैव टू डिसाइड, ठीक है, कि अगर इसी एग्जांपल के साथ आपको लेट से गिवन हो 5 ओम की रेजिस्टेंस, तो आप कौन सा कन्वर्टर सिलेक्ट करेंगे।
सर उसमें अगर बढ़ानी है तो फिर हम बक इस्तेमाल करेंगे क्योंकि हमने
बस
6
वेरी गुड, ठीक है। सो अगर रेजिस्टेंस जो है वो 20 ohms की होगी तो फिर उसके लिए हम बूस्ट कन्वर्टर यूज करते हैं, ठीक है। सो हमारा जो सेंटर पॉइंट है जो कि पीवी पैनल के साथ जो है वो रेलेवेंट है, दैट इज 6.44 ohms की रेजिस्टेंस, ठीक है। तो अगर उससे ज्यादा होगा तो ऑब्वियसली वी हैव टू थिंक अकॉर्डिंगली, उसके लिए फिर हमें कैलकुलेशन जो है वो अकॉर्डिंगली करनी पड़ेगी। ओके
सर एक
सो
क्वेश्चन है सर।
जी जी प्लीज।
सर जी सर, ये हमने 1.2 मिली हेनरी जो कैलकुलेट की हमारी क्रिटिकल वैल्यू है, क्योंकि जो हमने नीचे 1200
नहीं, ये
सर।
क्रिटिकल वैल्यू नहीं, ये डिजाइन वैल्यू है। यहाँ देखें आप जब रिपल फैक्टर के अकॉर्डिंग डिफाइन कर रहे हैं,
ठीक सर, राइट सर।
तो आप यहाँ 1.2 मिली के साथ 5 माइक्रो भी रख सकते हैं, दैट वुड आल्सो वर्क।
राइट सर।
ठीक है, तो हमने फॉर सेफ मार्जिन हमने थोड़ा सा इसको हायर साइड पे रखा। ठीक है, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
नो सर।
ओके सो मूव करते हैं, ब्रेक कर लेते हैं एंड देन वी मूव ऑन। ठीक है, सो लेट्स हैव अ ब्रेक।